Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/secretspiceoflife. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Welcome to some shit that's considered legendary.
Hey, what is going on, you variety-loving people? I hope you're to add some spice to your day. Welcome back to Secret Spice of Life. You're your host. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jordan.
And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. Well, we're back with the business for part 2 of Small Business that we had, episode 2, I think it was. It was actually like our second episode ever. We mentioned that we were going to do a second part of this, and we're back with it. Obviously, this podcast is kind of like a little side business with us, especially because we recently monetized it, which took us like 3 months, which isn't too long, honestly. These people usually don't do it for like a year or something like that. But so we're getting somewhere at least. And so we just wanted to like kind of touch on things that we've done and like more stuff that we've learned since obviously the first episode. I think the first episode was only like 25 minutes, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And obviously we've been doing a lot longer episodes, and we just recorded another one earlier tonight that I mentioned wasn't going to be long, and it was over like an hour. So, hopefully we can keep this a little shorter than an hour, but we'll see. I think something that we failed to mention in the first episode, which, I've been mentioning a lot lately in like, especially on like Instagram and stuff like that, and I've noticed like a lot more other people have been mentioning this too. But like when you first go into like whatever you go into, it doesn't matter if it's like you're just starting like a lifting program, like something as simple as that, or like if you are starting a business, if you are planning to do anything, like you need a plan. Like that's like the first step. Like you have to lay out. It doesn't have to be the most detailed thing in the world. It can literally be like, okay, it can be like 4 steps. Like I want to do this, this, and this. But once you get to that first step, then that's when you go in a little bit more detail, because there might be little steps in between like the bigger steps. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
We didn't really honestly have too much of a plan there to begin with this.
You
don't have to have a plan right away.
It doesn't have to. Yeah, like I said,
you don't have to.
We knew what we wanted to talk about, and it was anything we found interesting.
Yeah, but that's funny that you said that, because before we came in here, I was gonna tell you something, and I forgot before we started. But I was listening to one of like Chris Hardwick's old Nerdist podcast episodes with Quentin Tarantino on it, and they asked him, like, you know how people say before they start writing, you should do an outline to outline your ideas and stuff. They asked him, they said, do you ever outline? He's like, no. He's like I usually just sit down and whatever I feel like, think about whatever I feel like writing, I'll just start writing a story. And he said I rarely ever outline anything. Write ideas.
That's what I mean. You don't have to have like the exact plan, but I'm sure he goes back and fixes what he writes. Like he decided he doesn't just submit his rough draft.
What was it for? I think it was for like, I think it was like Pulp Fiction or something. He was talking about when he wrote that. Like he said when he was writing a scene of it, he said pretty much what he wrote when he was thinking about it, like the first time he thought about it, is pretty much what happened in the movie. Yeah. Like he kind of went back and like tweaked it a little bit. But
Exactly. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. You don't have to have like the perfect plan. Like you can have like a vague idea of what it wants to be. Like I'm sure how you mentioned, he went back and like tweaked it a little bit. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like you can make it perfect eventually, or like whatever you consider to be perfect. But even when we started, we didn't have like the best plan. We were just like, okay, we're gonna sit down and talk about what we want to do. But like we kind of went in the planning like right after our first episode. Like that's kind of like how it happened. Like we got our intro in, and we planned like our second episode, because we used to have show notes a lot. I don't really use show notes that much. Like I have stuff here, but it's just like stuff to reference to, like if I need. Like for examples.
Like we didn't really have an episode schedule at the beginning. We just kind of recorded them when we felt like it.
Yeah, I don't think we released them on Tuesday or Mondays and Thursdays.
No, we just kind of did it whatever we felt like doing. But obviously we made up a schedule. Yeah. For everything, pretty much. Like we released the podcast episodes on Monday and Thursday, released videos on a certain day, release blogs on usually Fridays. Sometimes we did it Wednesday this week.
Oh no, we usually do them on Wednesdays.
Do we?
Yeah, you don't even know our schedule, man.
Sometimes.
No, we do. It's usually podcast Monday, video
I've
Tuesday,
released blogs
blog
on
Wednesday.
Fridays
Yeah. Those are just like the non-scheduled blogs. You can release those whenever, but like it'll be podcast Monday,
the
video.
calendar was Wednesday because it had to be, because that was the week that we started, or the day that we started the week.
Oh yeah, but I mean historically we've always usually released them on like Wednesday though. But it's usually podcast Monday, video Tuesday, blog Wednesday, podcast Thursday, video Friday, and then Saturday is usually Saturday and Sunday or whatever, like, because those are kind of down times. Like, it's just like either interviewing or whatever. And we kind of schedule like interviewing and stuff like there and recording like throughout like the week, depending on when we have time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's not about the perfect plan. It's just about having one. Yeah. I mean, like you can literally put that into anything. Like, if you can't just go into something not knowing what you're gonna do. Like I was talking to I think it's just somebody on Instagram actually. I was putting in like my 180 and I get in the weirdest conversations with people when I do this, but it's hilarious. And I think it might have been on this book here. It says like gym on the front. I think I put it on like my Instagram.
Yeah.
And some guy commented on it. He's like, I think it's absolutely hilarious when people go into the gym and he's like, you ask them what they're doing today and they're like, I don't know if I'm gonna do legs, I'm gonna do arms. And they're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He's like, I don't know how people go into the gym without like knowing what they're gonna do that day.
I mean, like, I don't know, I feel like there's like some people we see at the gym, like we'll see them like go around and do like work out like every part of their body when they're in there. I don't see why you do it though. Like why you would do it like that, because you obviously can't do that every day, or your body would eventually break down.
No, you can't do that. But like that's actually a huge fad right now. Is like full body or upper body, lower body splits, because they only do it twice a week. It's just for like
time. What's the point of working out twice a week? That's not even going to do anything unless you're just maintaining. Unless you're just maintaining what you already have.
I think
that's not going to do anything for you.
I mean, I think that's for like a whole nother episode. Is what I think about like fitness splits and stuff like that. But like the rule is like it's a 48-hour rule. You're supposed to hit the same body part right after a 48-hour period. Like you need 48 hours of recovery.
I'd never be able to do it like with arms maybe, but not legs. I'd never be able to do legs like 3 times a week.
Yeah, it's twice. You're supposed to hit everything twice a week, is what it is.
I'd still never be able to
that's
do
why,
it twice a
that's
week.
why an upper body split like twice a week is ideal for people who don't have time, like a lot of time to be in the gym. Like they can just hit like their other whole body twice a week, and that's kind of like the idea behind it. But I mean, just like the idea of people like coming in, they're like, I don't know if I'm gonna do arms, legs. Like if you don't have a schedule or a plan of what you're gonna do, you're not gonna get very far. But like when I mean obviously no matter what business you go in, you have to do some type of marketing, even if you're not like a fan of. You can hire people to do it for you, or you can do it yourself. I know for example, Mom, I think she could talk about this whenever she gets on the episode. Hopefully it'll be sometime in December, but she's never like did any marketing in her life. She's like been an account manager, like some type of manager. She does accounting and stuff like that at like her other job. But when she's opened her own business, she didn't know about marketing. I'm like, oh, you should get on social media, and she's like, okay. She's like, I don't know what really to put on there. I'm like, you just put pictures of your cookies and tell them what you have. I said, that's all you have to do. And that's what she does all the time. And people, she gets like freaking like 10 or 15 comments a post now. Like, and she's only been at this for, it's just been a year now. Like the past, like a couple of days ago was her 1 year anniversary of her business. But like, she gets like more engagement than she does like on her Facebook than we do on like our podcast. I mean, we haven't been at it that long, but she doesn't even try. And food looks delicious. So I guess it's a little easier to comment on. But and it's just like, it's not that hard. I mean, it's okay. I'm not gonna say it's not that hard, but for her like niche or whatever, it's not that hard because she's a great product. Like if you have a good product, you don't need the market all that hard. Yeah. And I think if you're like in a bigger like niche or whatever, like if it's I don't know, like maybe like if you decide to get into alcohol, like it's kind of hard to market alcohol. Because like there's so many like big name brands, like there's like Jack Daniels and like Amsterdam like vodka and stuff like that. Like those are just 2 examples I took right there. So I was looking over there, but
where you got the whole marketing wall here.
You
got a spray can on the wall.
Oh yeah, Logic.
You got your pops. Man.
Those are your pops, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're mine.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you have to market harder if you're on like a bigger like industry like that. But she's just kind of like in a small cookie business, so I feel like it's like not that hard, and she doesn't have a lot of competition around her, so it's all like local business.
Yeah. Since we're on the point of marketing, did you see like that Robin Hood movie that came out recently, the one that has the kid from Kingsman in it?
Oh yeah.
Apparently that movie like bombed at the box office because apparently nobody knew it was even coming out.
Yeah.
Like, I saw a lot of commercials for it.
I saw it like a week before it came out.
Yeah, I saw commercials, but like, if you look at the comments on like Rotten Tomatoes when they said they like bombed and stuff, like people are like, oh, I didn't even know this movie was out. It's like I
didn't know it came out. I just knew it was like coming out.
That's like every comment. Like they must have did a horrible job marketing it.
You. I mean.
Well, they said that the budget for the movie was $100 million, and they only made like $22 million on opening weekend.
Oh, yeah. Jesus! Yeah, they're gonna owe a lot of people money. Yeah. But that's like the thing though. Like for example, like how we in one of our previous episodes we talked about Marvel. Like for Infinity Wars, they can market it 2 weeks before. They'd get billion in box office.
Yeah, that's a different.
That's different because their brand's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've marketed that brand for years.
Yeah.
It just keeps growing naturally. They don't have to do it anymore.
Oh yeah, and Marvel's been around since the dawn age of like superheroes.
Forever,
yeah.
The comic book. You could just get like people that read comic books to come watch the movies, and they'd still make enough money. Like I don't know when it was like somewhere like early 1900s is when like comics were first starting getting like printed and written and stuff like that. And I mean, if there was somebody like still alive from that time that knew what Marvel was because they read it as a kid, guaranteed they would come to the movies, like no doubt. Yeah, it's just like that. Especially that would be like a huge nostalgic thing for them, like from all the way back then. That if they saw like all like if they've never watched like a Marvel movie before and they just read the comic books and came to the theater, they'd be probably like their mind would completely be blown probably. But I actually skipped one. I didn't mean to. Before like being able to like go into marketing, you have to be able to build your brand or whatever. Yeah. Like what I guess we probably already talked about this in our first episode. I'm not completely sure what we already talked about, but in the blog, like I started part 1 with like how do you come up with an idea, and or like how we kind of came up with our idea. But like I just like emphasized that make sure it's something that you're gonna enjoy doing for a long time. Yeah, like that you're not like it's not gonna be like some boring office job that people do just because they think they can make a lot of money doing it. Yeah, like because you're gonna come or be there saying like I hate this, I can't do this anymore, and you'll eventually just give up. Yeah, or you won't do what you have to do to help the business grow. Like like I used like mom as an example on that too. Like since she enjoyed baking cookies, that she'd do what she had to do to help her business grow and to like be successful. Yeah, because it's something that she actually enjoyed doing. Yeah. And mom's been doing that forever for like free. She's been doing. Well, that's why I said like she just used to bake for family and friends in the holidays and stuff. Yeah, and I would say your brand doesn't even have to be like the best idea for a brand. Like I remember Gary Vee said, it doesn't matter what the name of your brand is as long as it stands for something and you believe in it. Like I mean, you can make a business out of anything. Oh yeah, for sure. Like freaking people made fidget spinners. Yeah, so that's literally what I was about to say. And made billions, probably billions off of it. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. The dumbest thing, you just sit there. Yeah, I have two of them at work. I mess with all the time. And just flick it all day. Like. Oh man, yeah, but and they can literally put any brand on it. Like the gym I work at has the brand right on it too. Like peace. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, it would mean the world to us if you gave us a rate and review. Subscribe to the podcast as well, so you're first to know when we release new episodes. Be sure to download the podcast to help us out. If you're watching the podcast on YouTube, the full-length podcast is in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe as well. Check us out on all of our social media. Our Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat are all official SSOL. Again, that is OFFICIALSSOL. That is on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And you can find us at Secret Spice of Life on Facebook. Don't forget to check out our website and blog. New blog every Wednesday, and potentially some bonus blogs throughout each week. Check out our Patreon to enhance your viewing and listening experience. And as always, have a positive and productive day.
Welcome to some shit that's considered legendary.